What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, you've been asking for it, and I'm delivering. We got the top 10 non-Incarnon primaries in Warframe. These are some of the best weapons you can get in the game that require no Incarnons at all. And honestly, some of them are already kind of meta, so we'll be covering that with some honorable mentions, of course, too. Before we get into it, make sure to sub this channel with daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, news videos, list videos. I'll be trying to do some more of those these next couple of weeks and more. Make sure to hit that sub button. I appreciate support on the recent streams and videos. We had all these builds on stream, so if you want to come to the live stream, probably do some giveaways today. And before we get into all the showing off the damage and all that, I want to show you guys what buffs I potentially might be using during this video, because some of these weapons really scale nicely with Warframe buffs. So I've currently got corrosive protection on my Rhino, and I might use Nourish to get some viral damage on my weapons. I might use Roar for increased damage. And as far as my companion, I've got the Adarza Kavat, which can give additive 6% crit chance increase, and we also got Tenacious Bond for increased critical damage. So crit chance and crit damage sometimes active. Okay, so let's start off things with the first honorable mention about these non-Incarnate. If you get this far in the video or listening, actually, put "Where's the torrent" in the comments section, because, you know, people just click to the builds and all that stuff. Okay, first weapon honorable mention-wise, we got the Vidaria Prime. This thing is the newest sniper rifle prime weapon in the game, and it honestly was pretty ridiculous the day when it came out, but then it actually got kind of bug fixed / nerfed like a day later, where it cannot go as crazy with blast procs anymore. So if you do want to use this thing, I've got an Acuity builder here. I think Acuity is the strongest damage-wise, but the thing is, this thing calls down lightning when you get a hit with it, and the amount of multi-shot you have will give you more chances to get that lightning to call down. So here we are with the Vidaria Prime, and I talk about why I don't think it's a top-tier weapon right now, but it's still really, really good. So we charge this thing up, release the shot, and lightning gets called down. The problem with this, though, is it's a charge fire weapon, and this lightning is only going to hit, I think it's 3 or 4 enemies at max. So you're looking at a weapon that can get 4 kills per shot, unless you're grouping enemies up for lightning procs and stuff like that. It's just not really the best, guys. But the thing is, it is very hard hitting and fun. So if you're looking for a fun weapon, it can do the scoped version, the non-scoped version, which is kind of nice. You've got a better sniper rifle than this on this list, but yeah, Vidaria Prime, the newest. If it didn't end up getting nerfed, it'd probably be a little bit higher. But yeah, unfortunately, it is honorable mention on the list because of the nerf to its blast proc potential, which was really, really fun. Next, we've got the second honorable mention, the Exceltra Prime. Now, this thing actually is a pretty beloved weapon by a lot of players, but the problem with it is it actually has some big ammo issues. And also, it kind of has a damage problem, too, when you get really high level, because it has not the best, stats. But yeah, as far as what this thing does, exploding bullets with a full auto rifle, always good. And these exploding bullets have a very large radius, too, so pretty good stuff. Now, again, like I said, it gets held back by the really bad ammo problems, and honestly, not the best base stats either. So we look right there. Those guys don't have too many procs, and they have a couple procs on. And then the AoE fall-off on these bullets is pretty steep, too. If you do want to use the Exceltra Prime, I would recommend throwing on some Warframe buffs, like maybe Roar and Nourish. And you'll take out the enemies a lot easier with your nice and simple full-auto rocket launcher rifle. So yeah, fun weapon. Low ammo pool, though, holds it back. I do like this thing overall, but it has not enough ammo to be on the top 10 list. Next, this one's a personal favorite of mine, the Quanta Vandal. Now this thing, if you want to go really, really crazy with the buffs, you can make this thing an electric proc monster. But basically, what it does, it's a beam weapon that has only electric. So if you look right now, it has really low damage. If we were to switch a frame that has purple Archon Tau shards, like my Ivara, which gives increased primary electric damage. We look at it now. The Quanta gets a massive electric damage buff to. We have 250 damage with Ivara, and on Rhino we had 74. So we have over 4 times. It's 4 times the damage on Ivara. But just showing how it works on Rhino here. We're just trying to stack up a lot of electric procs really fast. The Riven can go crazy on this one just because you basically tap them for a little bit of damage. They just get instantly annihilated with a multi-million damage electric proc. So yeah, it's got a cube launcher that explodes. But I like the primary beam the most for electric proc potential. So it's not going to look too amazing right now because it's meant to be buffed up. But yeah, if you have not tried the Quanta Vandal and you like non-Incarnon weapons, I recommend giving it a shot. So there it is with no buffs. It's still on Roar. It'll be a lot stronger with Roar. Again, this is with not the actual full power build. 13 million damage electric proc. And now you just kind of fire in their general direction, and they're going to die to any type of electric proc. As far as where this weapon comes from Baro Katir. And it's definitely very, very underrated. If you like weapons like this, there's also the Convetrix that could do something similar to this with slash procs instead of electric procs. But yeah, Quanta Vandal, underrated for sure, but it's on the honorable mentions list because it's just not meta. Alright, moving on to the last honorable mention, we have the Coda Sporothrix. This is the reason, this weapon is basically the reason that I don't like the Midaria as much anymore, because this thing can go really, really well with blast procs. So, as far as we have an exploding sniper rifle here, and you want to definitely have the volatile variant augment mod, which makes this weapon instantly explode. It usually has a delayed explosion. It also gets increased status chance and AoE size with volatile variant, which is available from Nightwave. So you got a blast proc built on here, and this thing has like 5% crit chance, but if you can make it crit, it has a very high crit multiplier of like, I think 5 built in. So let's go ahead and throw it on here. Now, if you do use the Zata's Whisper buff from Zaku, the Void procs go pretty well with these blast procs. So there we go. So as you can see, a big exploding bullet that wipes them out. So yeah, you don't necessarily need the crazy crits, but if you do get the Adarza buff, which we do have right now, it's going to make it a lot more reliable. So nice, powerful AoE sniper, but the thing about snipers in Warframe is that it's not really a sniper game, I guess I'd put it. Like, we're not like, hiding behind cover, having to get our ammo back, like, okay, reload your gun behind cover, like, snipe that guy before he snipes us. It's not really that kind of game. It's a horde shooter. These enemies just get mowed down en masse, so that is why this thing is actually pretty decent, but again, it being a sniper, I do think holds it back a little bit. So yeah, really strong weapon. That comes from Infested Liches. Okay, now that we've gone through that, let's go on to the actual top 10 list for the top 10 non-Incarnon primaries in Warframe. So let's go ahead and move on to number 10. This is the probably one of the easiest ones to get. It's going to be from your clan dojo, the Labonico. This thing is extremely powerful, and I think a lot of people forget about it just because it comes from the clan dojo. But yeah, as far as what this thing is, it's an arm cannon, and it has a alternate fire that has built-in viral, and the primary shot is like a toxin crit-focused blast. So you can get viral procs on demand, no nourish needed. It's also an exploding viral attack. And yeah, the primary shot has built-in toxin for easy corrosive. So we proc him with the viral, then we kill him with the corrosive. It's really, really strong. And again, it comes from your clan dojo too. So it's a pretty high-level Forma and Prime Mod build, but yeah, it gets the job done really, really well. So we have corrosive magnetic on the primary shot and viral magnetic electric on the exploding shot. So with this combined, we are going to take care of enemies really, really well. So these guys are honestly kind of low level. I could summon in typically the level 10,000s, but yeah, you can just kind of get the idea here. Keep in mind too that the exploding shot can knock you over, so that might be a problem for some people. So if you use the exploding shot, they're all procced up. One tap them very easily with the primary shot afterwards. You can use the exploding shot to kill enemies because it has a pretty good crit multiplier. So if you're using the Adarza Cat like I am, it's going to have a bunch of reliable crits that are really, really strong. So yeah, as far as this weapon, why is it so high up? It can just basically do it all. It can proc, it can kill, it's got infinite ammo, it uses shotgun mods. Let's throw on some Warframe buffs here so you can see how it's buffed up. Nearly 1 million damage, no riven, it's just good. It's just really, really good. It's also very easy to use. But yeah, again, maybe the prime sure-footed aspect of it might hold it back to you a little bit. I did want to make sure I showed you guys this. You haven't seen this in a while. It is just really, really strong. Very good for, as far as what you use it for. You can kill high-level enemies with it. You can proc them up. You can just have a nice, easy, lazy time with the infinite ammo, viral exploding shot. Only thing that's, like, I would love if we got, like, an explosion range mod for shotguns, because right now, the explosion, like, there's no prime firestorm for shotguns, basically. So yeah, that's great. Another way to do it is, like I said, you can use it as a procer, maximum fire rate with magnetic and viral. You'll get your procs out really, really fast. And again, really, really fast. Like those are like more than 10 viral procs for sure. So really powerful gun. I recommend it to you if you haven't tried it already. But so it's number 10 on the list. There's things that are number 1 on the list that are kind of similar to this. So maybe don't spend all your floor money just yet. All right, moving on to number 9, and for number 9, I need to actually switch to a different frame here. Now, number 9 is going to be the Kuva Tsar. Why is the Kuva Tsar so high on the list? It's because of your boy Cyto 9. Cyto 9 is a very, very strong frame, and he has a couple weapon synergies that actually are so strong that they become slightly meta for the basically meta of Warframe. So, just like Ivara, I've got these purple electric shards to buff our weapons. They're going to buff the electric damage on our weapons a lot, and since Cyto 9 can force electric procs, these are going to scale his electric procs to a ridiculous degree. And one of the most spammable guns in the whole game is going to be the Tsar. So I'm hoping this is the right Tsar here. This doesn't look like the right Tsar. So I've got 2 Tsars. I recommend that, this before Valiant Fusion came out. Now that Valiant Fusion is out, you can actually switch the element pretty easily if you have it. So like I can just click that, switch the element to like whatever element I need to if you have to unlock. But yeah, we've got the Cyto 9 Czar or Spamo 9 set up right here. So what you want to do is you basically just want to have good amount of fire rate, good amount of magazine, and you want to have Elementalist and Firestorm. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use Cyto 9's second ability, Resupply, to cause forced electric procs. Now the reason this is so good is because he also gives you ammo back. And because the Czar was very OP for a while, it got nerfed in the ammo department. So Cyto 9 can offset that problem by making it have infinite ammo. So basically what you do with Cyto 9, you just do this. Oh, there's no enemies left. So basically you just do this, you spam 09 all over the mission, and yeah, you just basically jump from place to place, blow them up. Here's a better example of it. As you're jumping through the mission, you just do this, and no enemies will survive. This works at level 10,000. It's just a little bit on the annoying side. So yeah, if you are willing to push these buttons, you will be able to spam. And this is one of the most spammable guns in the whole game for Spam 09. So yeah, because of that, it's very, very powerful. It's very, very good for exterminates. But again, I think the Icarius is better than this. If you have the, but that's not going to be on the primaries list, will it? It's in the secondary list. So yeah, moving on from this one, the Kuva Czar comes from from Kuva Liches, and Cyto 9 comes from 1999. All right, moving on to number 9 here, we got the. Going back to Rhino, we got a very powerful bow, probably the strongest bow in the game. It's going to be the Daikyu Prime. Now, this thing is also pretty recent and also very, very strong. As far as what you want to use on the Daikyu Prime, I'd recommend that you go for Acuity, just like the Madaria. These precision weapons do want precision mods. We also got Longbow Sharp Shot. On headshot, you get increased damage on the next shot, only for bows. So, with this build, we could hit very, very high numbers. With certain buffs, you can hit over 2 billion damage with this bow as well, which is very, very nice. So yeah, we did compare this to the Nataruk and the Sinta. The Sinta is very, very good and honestly comparable damage, but this is definitely just better than Nataruk. So get your headshots, they're just going to be basically GG. This is with no buffs, 2.8 million, 2.4 million on a fully armored enemy, 12 million. So as you can see, if you were to throw on lots of buffs, you'd be getting, you know, you can see where the 2 billion would come from. So let's go ahead and proc them up, get all that stuff going here. Let's see if we get our 2 bill here. 39 mil. 30 mil. Yeah, I have a video on the channel if you want to see the 2 bill strats, but yeah, very, very strong, very, very easy use. Again, this is no riven, and this will kill any enemy you're going to see in the game. This will kill level 10,000 in one shot. Again, you're using a bow, so do you want to use it against level 10,000s? To me, I don't want to use it at level 10,000. When any weapon that is like relatively single target like this, I can't stand it for level 10,000. But yeah, as far as the hardest hitting bow, if you ever get like a high level, like Eidolon Fights 2.0, literally even DE was using this weapon in their footage for the new boss fights. So yeah, if we have a new boss fight coming up, this could be a great option. And of course, there's other builds you could do too. If you want to do an elemental build, you can do an electric build or something like that. I like to use the galvanized mod, and we also have these special amalgam Daikyu target acquired mod, giving increased headshot multiplier on the Daikyu. It's very strong. It also basically gives us a mini deadhead to go alongside our longbow sharp shot. So really, really good stuff. And of course, you could go for more damage too if you want to use like a spectral serration. All right, moving on to number 7. Here we got another prime weapon. Now this one, I honestly feel like this one is more not for me anymore. The Trumna Prime, oh my gosh, that's a bad build. The Trumna Prime is a very, very powerful weapon, but I think the problem with it honestly is the fact that it's just too clunky feeling for me. So as far as what we got going on here, we got a weapon that is going to have exploding primary bullets with built-in fire damage, and once you get 5 kills, you can use the super shot. That's going to be an exploding, bouncing death ball, pretty much. Currently on a corrosive heat build, and rivens for this thing can be pretty decent as well. Not the highest stats, but just, you know, they can give you some more room on your build. So I don't like it because it feels too clunky. It's got a massive magazine of like what, 250. That's crazy good. But yeah, the problem is it doesn't really have the damage I want for my kind of primaries. Honestly, if you're at high enough level you could use the Trumna Prime, you're probably high enough level you could also use an Incarnon too. So here's the super shot. Super shot does pretty well, but it did bounce across the floor there. It's a little bit annoying on that regard. Also, this is like we talked about in a future video. The recoil on these weapons has become extremely aggressive. As you can see, I'm aiming right at the enemy, and it just is not hitting them. So, yeah, ever since the recoil change update, we got, like, I think it was like the mushroom update, like Noko's update, weapons have had inconsistent recoil. Actually, no, more like it's consistently bad recoil is what they have. And when we get to some of the top weapons on the list, you are really going to notice the recoil changes. But yeah, great weapon. I just got some minor issues with it just because I feel like if you're high enough level to get the Trumna Prime, you're also probably high enough level to get to Incarnon. So it's like, why are you even using the Trumna Prime at that point? But yeah, good weapon, nice fancy golden weapon. Lots of fun builds. You could use like Zatad's Whisper and Blast, like I was saying earlier, some other builds. But yeah, this one's great. Corrosive Heat, throw on Nourish with Viral, and you'll have Viral Corrosive Heat, going to debuff them to the max. If you're not using a Silence Frame, you could use Vigilant Supplies here, or maybe even go for more reduced recoil to make it not as bad. So yeah, fun one there. Another one that comes from Relics, so you can also farm that one right now. Now, this weapon that's coming up on number 6, you cannot farm this right now, but it's also not that expensive to get. The Phantasma Prime. This thing is not great in the crit department, but as far as what it does, it's a primary shotgun that has a large hitbox on the beam. It also is good fire and lots of beams. This thing is a multi-beam shotgun. Compared it to the Prime has more crit than the non-Prime and a little bit farther beam range too. So if you do want to use the Phantasma normal, you can. They also have really similar riven dispo too. So here's a no riven build. We got Viral Electric. And as far as what you want to look at in your build on the Phantasma, make sure that your electric weighting or your heat weighting, whatever DOT you have, is higher than your viral weighting so you can make sure you get as many procs as possible. So yeah, because of all these beams, we also have a exploding shot too. Don't worry about the exploding shot too much with the Phantasma. You can launch out these exploding shots that have Seekers. But yeah, the primary beam mode is extremely reliable and powerful, but it's not that good against Acolytes. Again, because the crit on this thing is so bad, it's not great for Acolytes, but it's great for everything else trash ad related. So you just get a couple little headshots right there, get Arcane Crux stacked up for lots of status chance. Man, it's just nice and reliable. Just basically fire it in the hallway, everything's gonna be electric procced a ton. And it's just basically GG. So yeah, nice reliable weapon here. You know, it doesn't really require much buffing, it doesn't really require any crits. You just kind of fire it and it works. So good stuff there. Not any ammo problems either, unlike some of the other weapons on this list. Yeah, nice reliable. Now this comes from Revenant Prime Access. So it is currently vaulted. So if you want to use the Phantasma normal, it's about the exact same thing, guys. I wouldn't bother buying for crit on this thing unless you're using like Harrow or like Sevigoth basically for big crit buffs. But yeah, really nice reliable weapon. It is not the best shotgun in the game because it's held back with a crit. But yeah, really fun one. It's also a beam weapon, so you could use things like Combustion Beam to make enemies explode if you want to. Powerful one for sure. Another nice thing about the Phantasma Prime is because it's a shotgun, you can use the Galvanized Acceleration mod, which gives you increased beam range, and on kill, you get even more beam range. So yeah, because it's a beam shotgun, this is a great mod for it, giving you a ton of extra beam range to cover an entire hallway. So yeah, I recommend checking out at least the Phantasma normal. Again, the exact same build is going to work there. If you want to do like a fire build, you can. You just basically swap out the electric mods for fire mods, the exact same thing. So great weapon for sure. You can also go corrosive too. All right, moving on to the number 5, we got the Tenet Galaxian. Now this thing comes from Corpus Liches, and we got 2 different elements for you today. I got the my favorite one, the magnetic element right here built in, and we also have the fire element for a easy blast proc build. Because the Galaxian is a cold weapon, getting a fire version of the Galaxian will make it instantly blast, which is kind of nice if you're using things like Nourish. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show my main Galaxian here with the magnetic one. And as far as, let's say, no riven, corrosive, cold, magnetic build. Now, you might not have this Photon Overcharge mod, which is basically like a variant of a crit damage mod. It gives increased crit damage, but on kill or assist, slight enemies have a chance to drop an energy orb per cold proc on them. So if you don't have a cold proc build, you can't really get that to work. But yeah, as far as what we got here, got a cold corrosive build. I could throw on primary frostbite for lots of extra crit damage and multi-shot, but in my practice, Deadhead has been better for level 10,000. So go ahead and show this. So this is what I probably will cast Nourish on because beam weapons do love viral so much. But let's just go ahead and show it without the viral first. Okay, so is the Tenet Galaxian with the magnetic element, 60% magnetic. And as you can see, it just melts through them really quickly. And they're dropping orbs on the ground, too, as we kill them. So, yeah, it's a chaining ice gun. Very, very powerful. Very, very reliable, too. And actually, it can do level 10,000s really well. I do look at these debuffs on her. She's got corrosive, magnetic, and cold. If you haven't played the game in a while, cold procs did get buffed. They can now fully freeze enemies solid. And they can also give you more critical damage on enemies affected by those cold procs. So now let me show that. Let's show it with a buff now with Nourish. So now we're going to have viral, corrosive, and cold. Oh, and magnetic. So everything's just going to instantly die pretty much. So if we had an overguarded enemy, their overguard would explode in an electric proc because that's what magnetic procs do nowadays too. So very strong weapon. I'm going to go ahead and show the blast version now because I know some people like that more than the magnetic corrosive one. And I will say if you want to use the blast one, I would recommend getting a riven for it too. the Glaxian. If you want an unranked Vira Riven, that could really help a lot. But yeah, as far as we got in here, similar to the other build, but just going to be blast procs instead. So we'll show it with no bust, and we'll show it with bust. We'll move on to the top 10 on this list. I mean the top 5 on this list. Okay, so Nourish is active. As you can see, it makes enemies explode, which is nice. And you can do viral blast, like, straight up with this one, which is pretty good. But if you are using a build like this, do not use Photon Overcharge, because you don't have any cold procs to really get those orbs to drop. All right, moving on to the top 4 here. We got the strongest, one of the strongest shotguns in the game. My personal favorite Lich shotgun in the game. Actually, no, I take it back. I take it back after number 1. My second favorite Lich shotgun in the game, we got the Coda Base Assist. This thing it hits like 10 trucks, honestly. It is so powerful, hits so hard, and it's very versatile too. So as far as we got right now, I'm on a Toxin Coda Base Assist, and we're going for a corrosive build for a big high damage number against Thrax and Acolytes and stuff like that. So as far as the weapons, like, it's got built-in blast and radiation on the primary shot before any Lich bonuses are applied. It's also got a alternate shot that causes magnetic and impact procs. So yeah, really good stuff. It also has really high-hitting damage. Also, if you do a mercy kill, you get increased damage and multi-shot, which is kind of fun. And this thing can actually teleport the mercy kills too. So a lot to explain. Let's go ahead and see how it's going to look over here. So again, keep in mind we have minimal buffs going. I could buff up, but we don't really need it on this weapon. So alternate fire launches those magnetic and impact procs. Makes it really good for Galvanized Aptitude for built-in condition overload. And we're hitting like multi-million right off the bat. So really, really strong stuff. Really, really easy stuff too. This thing is better than the Archiplasmor. And the Archiplasmor is not on this list because honestly we have so many good shotguns in this game. This thing I will say as far as the problems it has versus the Archiplasmor, it has a smaller hitbox as far as taking out an entire hallway. Let's throw on Roar now too. But it is definitely better for single target. So, yeah, if you really like the Archiplasmor, don't feel like you can't use it again. Just because your favorite weapon is on this list doesn't mean it's not good, but it just means it's probably not as good as the actual best stuff like this thing. I don't even need to like actually use the primary shot when I have these buffs up because the alternate fire like basically hunts them down. So really good stuff there, guys. As far as the element, again, I have a Toxin one. If you watch my full Coda Basis video, I have a DOT build you can also rock for that one as well. All right, moving on to the top 3. Here's the top 3 best non-Incarnons in the whole game. We got a really, really highly viewed one, basically, the Cedo Prime. This thing is top tier. It's the number 1 Incarnon, or the number 1 primary on this list. It's not Incarnon, and if you've heard the Cedo Prime, you probably know why. This thing is crazy strong. Its unique perk fires out a glaive that does a bunch of extra procs. It's all like the built-in procs. But then, the weapon has built-in condition overload, so it does more damage per proc on the enemy, but we can double up. We can do the built-in condition overload of the weapon, and we can do double condition overload with Galvanized Savvy. So we got damage per proc from this, and then damage per proc from the passive. So with this, it's just basically built to destroy. Like there's no other way to put it. It's there to just annihilate everything and do it really easily, too. So showing how this works, we got another Corrosive Magnetic build. And like I said, it will proc so much stuff that we're going to be having all that condition overload to ourselves. Alright, so we launched the glaive, and as you can see, lots of procs on them. And they're just GG done after 1, basically. So, get your kills and get your procs going. I like to use primary crux on this thing so it can fire shots for a while. But there's one issue with this thing, is that this is a big victim of the recoil changes. If I take off these recoil mods, this thing is going to kick like crazy. You're not going to hit your shots at all. And that's honestly might be an upcoming video. The thing is, though, that console has not gotten that change yet. So I don't know if I really want to be making a video about things that console has not gotten yet. But if you guys haven't seen this yet, the Cedo has really bad recoil now. So I just took off the Prime Recoil Reduction mod. Just basically watch this. So I fire the gun. It's never going to hit this guy. So you must run recoil reduction mods in the Cedo now, or you're just going to have it like this. So because you want to actually hit enemies you're firing at after the first bullet, I'd recommend you throw on recoil reduction or just play the game as you need to with that information in mind. You basically fire the first bullet, it's going to hit. Every bullet after that's not going to hit past 5 meters pretty much. So yeah, it's not holding it back from the list because the other things on the list are top tier, like meta, but this thing is also really, really good. If you want to do level 10,000 missions, this is a great option for you, and you're going to be able to take care of those Thrax really, really easily too. At least the physical body. So there's also like a more budget version of this without the Prime mods, just like non-prime that, non-prime that, non-prime that. You're good to go. But yeah, this stuff is great. It's also not vaulted either. This comes from Lavos Prime Access, and Lavos is currently farmable. Okay, we're going to move on to the top 2 weapons in all of Warframe that are not Incarnon. These ones are actually meta, okay? So, like, the other ones, like, okay, they're good, they're strong, they can do... But I like this one better. These ones are no negotiation. These are the strongest non-Incarnon primaries in the entire game because they literally define the meta. So, I'm actually going to switch frames for this. We're going to switch to Saren. We're going to switch to the Arbitration loadout. So, the number 2 on the list is going to be the Kuva Ogress. This thing is the Arbitration meta, and it also just blasts everything away. It's got not the best crit, but the reason it's so good is because we have this augment mod called Night Watch Napalm. Rockets disperse napalm, inflicting damage over the 90% of the explosion area. Because of this, we can destroy the arbitration drones really easily, and basically it's fire and forget. You fire in that direction, there's fire on the ground now, you can just move on with your day to destroy another group of enemies. So, it's not going to look as crazy in the sim, but we basically use Saren's third ability, Toxic Lash, to cause toxin procs on those enemies affected by the fire. Also, energized munitions, so we can fire the weapon for longer all over the map. And it also increased toxin proc damage shards for Saren's 3. So, it's not going to look as good in the sim just because you're in arbitration, you usually have a whole team buffing you. But yeah, this thing is just great for AoE coverage in arbitration missions. And that toxin lash from Saren does work on those drones too. So we just fire out one rocket. That should be enough to take them out. Yeah. So basically, that's the death zone. And if you're playing an arbitration, you just do this. Kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them. Every enemy is just going to walk into that toxin and die, and you're going to get a bunch of loot. So because of that, that is why this thing is meta, and this thing is number 2. But even beyond that, it's good for just normal missions too, as long as you're okay with it not being as crit focused. It is really, really meta in RBs. And you also might notice too, I unequipped my Adarza Kavat, because we don't need crit on this thing. Crit is not the best on the Ogress. What is good is using these buffers to make your Saren even stronger. So we have the Pharaoh Predicite here, and he is going to use the ability Anabolic Pollination to give me more toxin damage. The more toxin mods I have in my build, the more toxin damage I deal with my 3 with Saren. And yeah, this can also work with other frames too, like Mirage can spam rocket launchers and stuff like that. So yeah, top tier for sure. And as far as the best element on the Ogress, if you're playing Saren, you're going to have toxin mods on your build. So I'd say go for either a electric Ogress or a cold Ogress. Electric to get corrosive right off the bat, cold to get viral right off the bat. It's not going to matter too much because the enemies will all be instantly dead. But yeah, guys, that is going to be a great weapon for you in arbitration missions. Alright, so another weapon that's... okay, so that's number 2. Okay, the arbitration meta is number 2. What is number 1? Well, as someone that really enjoys Saren and Cyto 9, you might know about this one. It is the number 1 weapon in all of Warframe that's not Incarnate. The Kuva Sobek, dude. The Kuva Sobek is the best. It is number 1 on the list. And why? How is a generic shotgun number 1 on the list, Gaz? Well, it's actually not a generic shotgun when you start using the right kind of build. So, with this build right here, just like the previous ones, we're going to be using Cyto 9's second ability to buff electric procs, but the Acid Shell's augment mod will make enemies explode in a 15-meter radius, and that will trigger our electric procs too. But we're not done. It's 45% of the enemy's maximum HP, so it's a percentage health electric proc. So if we use things like Saren with Roar, and our 3, we use Cyto 9 with his 2, with electric shards, we will just annihilate the entire area in one shotgun shell. So, let's see, there's better be one shotgun shell. Yep, they're all dead. So, as you can see, with the right buffs, this thing is ridiculously good, and it doesn't need necessarily to be an AoE build. You can use it. You could use a single target build for it as well if you prefer that, or if you just don't want to do an AoE build. So we got this one right here. This one will be meant for high-level damage crits. So we've got Clip Delegation. This is another augment for the Sobek. The Sobek has like 3 augment mods. This one, odd hit, you'll get increased multi-shot and status chance. This is also available in Nightwave nowadays too, so you don't need to buy this. This will be great for killing level 10,000 fracs in one shotgun shell. Now, I am on Cyto 9, so it's a buffed up a little bit more than usual. But yeah, the big thing here, guys, is that it does not need to only be AoE explode everything. It can also take care of high-level enemies with crit damage really, really well. So we don't have the augment active right now, and they can already just take out these guys that easily. So yeah, because of that, I have it number 1 on my list. It's also really, really fun in like survival missions. I've heard some people using it in arbitrations too, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Ogress for now. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be my top 10 list. Some of the best weapons in the game are not Incarnon. Like, again, the Ogress and the Sobek are not Incarnon, and they're really, really good. As far as the Sobek element I'd recommend to you, It's not too important, but I've got a Toxin one right here. Toxin Sobex and Toxin Ogresses do not apply to Saren's 3. It's more just the percentage amount you have. So if you have a 6% Ogress, 6% Sobek, you're doing a great job. And you do not really need to go for like specifically Toxin one. So I'd recommend just go whatever. Magnetic's great. Built-in Magnetic is good. You could do Electric for like an easy Corrosive build. Really up to you guys. Just remember that you will be running Toxin mods for Saren's 3. And you'll be running Electric mods for Cyto 9's 2. So yeah, because of that, I'd recommend that you just run something like this. And also Rivens, as far as Rivens, plus Electric runes for Cyto 9, and plus Toxin runes for Saren, I guess Aroxia technically as well, are going to be great for you. Alright, if you got this far in the video, say, where's a Torrid? If I missed anything that's your favorite Incarnon, or your favorite non-Incarnon, let me know in the comments down below. I know there's a lot of room for other things. People want me to put the Stalta on here. They want me to put the Burst on here, but that's not Incarnon. The Daria was going to be on the list, and they got moved down. I didn't really cover the Trumna that much, so they're definitely not perfect here, guys, but I hope that it's put in the right direction. If you enjoyed this video, I'll put out another one on secondaries next week, and I appreciate your support. Take these, guys. Peace!